Howdy, folks. Today I want to talk about the Tripowin Olinas. This is a set of headphones I got about 4 days ago, and honestly, when I got them, I didn't realize how much I would enjoy them and love them. I had the Dark Magicians a little while ago. I kind of flipped my pants about those. Well, um, I want to tell everybody that this is a short bus recommendation set probably for the books. And it's because, to me, it's extremely special. It's almost as if someone made a headphone with my own tuning, my own ears in mind. It's just wild. But what by that I mean it is basically an ideal set of headphones. The tuning, the fit, the finish, everything is exactly the way I would have wanted if I had theoretically made my own set of headphones. Now, these have pretty much broken my price to performance metric for all time. I want to say that directly, straight up. I'm trying not to hype these too much, although I don't make any money off it, so I don't really know why I shouldn't. So here I go. Off we go to the races, folks. Short bus recommendation. This is probably going to be my top short bus recommendation of all time. The reason for that is the price to performance ratio. We're talking $100 that gives me, if I had paid, I'm going to tell people if I had paid $500 for these, I would not be disappointed. Now, I am not saying they should be $500. In fact, talking to some friends, I kind of came to my senses and realized, you know what? There's a lot of people that actually do need a set of amazing headphones at a low, low price. And I think $100 isn't really super low for a lot of folks, but when you understand that, if I just said they're worth $500, that's kind of where I'm coming from. I don't want to hype these too much, and this is just they are worth $500 from, to me personally. Whether they're worth that to you is entirely up to you. So let's just talk about a few things. Fit and finish, amazing. They're very light. They fit my ears wonderfully. They go deep in my ears. There's no resonance factors. You can fit many different tips. My favorites, in terms of what I recommend, actually, I recommend not these tip. Well, okay, this tip, which is a Comply T500. I think they're the TSC Comfort. They're a little more rounded than these, actually, but what I usually would do is I would cut the butt end off of this and get this a little bit closer to, flush to the end of this. That's pretty much all I want to say, other than you put on something that clamps the bore down on these headphones and you are not getting the intended tuning, and that's the truth. These are designed to have wide bore tips that at the very least will not clamp that bore tip down. It needs to be exactly the same size, and also as short as you can get them, which means also, as deep in your ear as you can get them. My official recommendations, folks. All right. Broke my price to performance ratio of all time. I literally had thoughts of leaving the hobby entirely and buying a bunch of these and never talking to anyone ever again. I'm only slightly kidding. You understand what I mean? I bought so much stuff that's so not as good as these that it's just all right. So, what are the good things about these headphones that I think folks will enjoy? I think, and look, let's just talk about the Oxygen straight up. Are they as good as the Oxygens? Do they have as good bass, as good of mids, as good of the texture, the overall timbre? And the answer to that is they are better than the Oxygens easily. If I am being honest and accurate with myself, the Oxygens are a tier down from the Olinas. That's just the way it is. And you might ask, why is that? And so the answer would be, it's not so much that the bass is so much better. I would say it's about, give or take, same timbre, same extension, same slam, same air. But what it is it's wider. This has the X factor in the bass. This sounds much more like you have two subwoofers playing in your ears rather than just one mono. And that applies to the mid-range, and it applies in the mid-range in terms of the staging. You get a much more visceral left to right, wide, deep staging. That also has an amazing amount of OCD detailed treble that is just, oh, the fact that this was pulled off on this headphone is just, oh my God. That's the X factor right there, folks. It's the wideness, the staging, and the OCD details, plus the timbre combined. You don't have any thinness. You don't have any weirdness. You can play any track you want to play. This probably will work for like 95% of people's playlists, which in the end is probably, that's the goal for any headphone out there for sure, is, hit as many playlists as you can possibly hit the most music you can hit with the best, metrics you can hit. All right, so let's just pull up a few things just to go over it, just to check off the boxes. Here's the listing on Linsole. They are not available on Amazon anymore. They sold out like within days. I bought a few myself. By the way, I bought those at full price. I did get a set from Linsole for testers. Those are in the video here. Thank God they sent them to me because I didn't realize just freaking how good these are. They have a lot of my soul in them in some ways. All right, so $100. That, like I said, breaks the price to performance metric for me of all time. They beat everything. If you ask me, they beat the Clairs. I'm just gonna pull up my graph here and just kind of scroll down here and just kind of tell you the things they beat. The Duno SA6 beat Oxygens, Clairvoyance, Hana 2.0, the Neos actually. Starlights, that's easy. I mean, look, I could just go down my chart here, but let's talk about like the things that may be more close. I don't know, maybe the Fearless S8F, the S8Z, they beat those. The Moondrop S8, the Moondrop A8 quite easily. I'm pretty sure the EX800 ST, the Sony's, in terms of wideness, they probably matched them, and in terms of like just overall timbre of everything else, they just beat them to death. Fearless Roland, goodbye. I'm just kind of scrolling around here. So point of that is just that these are killing it. They're just killing it for me. I'm trying not to shill, but I don't make money on them, so let's shill away, folks. Shill away. Let's pull this up. This is the Olina versus the Oxygens. I zoomed in. So as you can see, there's really no huge differences here. We have a little bit, and I want to say this is actually a really good thing. The Olinas are in green, so 5K is pulled down a hair, and thank God for that. 5K is just an extreme hotspot for me. That's the like transient smack of snare drums and like the B like buzz my ears off, brain frequencies of guitars. It's just a grating frequency that I really don't like to be pumped too high. So yeah, Olinas are better in that respect. And then they pull off a little extra detail, a little less forgiveness, shall we say. But this area for me actually is more detail and mids orient, like staging oriented, possibly, than anything else. In any case, perfect. 8K gives you a little extra, like just a little pop to those treble notes, a little extra compared to the O2. I want to say a hair less dull. I really actually think it is. And then we'll call the Ultra Treble a wash, 711 couplers. What else do we have? I wanted to pull this up. This is the Dark Magician. So here's the bass area. We'll just like flip between these real quick. Dark Magician, Olina, right? Okay. So the thing I really want people to know is that you need to counteract extra subs and sub bass, bass with extra mids, in my opinion. So with the Olinas, we have a little extra subs and a little extra bass compared to the Dark Magician. And in turn, we pump up the mids a little bit to counteract that, to balance it, okay? So let's go up to the treble regions. Sorry. All right, treble regions. Dark Magician versus Olina. And you will see that the peaks and the valleys are similarly located, although differently elevated. But just kind of wanted to flip between those so folks could see that. if I had to put a word on what the Dark Magician strikes me as, and I'm being 100% honest, I'm not trying to shill. I keep saying that because I feel like I am, because it's just, because it's $100. Because like, okay, so yeah, the Dark Magician would be like a mini. Sorry, the Olinas would be a mini Dark Magician. They don't quite have the like the visceral impact, perhaps, of the Dark Magicians, but what they do have is they trade that like extra super large visceral impact for more OCD detailed treble, I believe. And they don't lack in terms of 3D staging, depth, wideness. I think the base impact on the Dark Magician might be a hair better, even though the graph doesn't show that. But the Olinas are in no way thin or lacking. And I think they're, like I said, the wideness and the dual subwoofer effect versus the Oxygen or just your average, geez, man, under $400 to $500 set is, it wins. It's much better. The bass effect on this is just better. That texture, the timbre is better. Yeah. All right. So let's pop over to my Excel spreadsheet. And you will see, in fact, and folks, I want people to know that if anything, I rated this low. That's the God honest truth. I really wanted to pump the scores up to the stratosphere on this one. It is literally tuned for my own tastes and my own ears and my own library. But regardless, we have to be accurate with what I think other folks will probably at least appreciate. So, all right, exceptional factor, 10.5. I'm going to rate it slightly down from the EJ07, the Dark Magician, but it is in every way a set that I would any day listen to and rock the hell out of. And, it's one of those things. I got the soft ears volumes, and quite honestly, these are better. I think for some folks, maybe the volumes will be better because they have the sort of more overt top-of-the-line tuning. And by the way, these are not that. They don't have that overtness, that like ultra realistic tonality. They have a realistic tonality taken to an incredibly high level, just to point that out. All right, 10.5 out of 11 in an exceptional factor. Honest to God, it's an 11, but 10.5. All right, so accuracy, 9.5 out of 10. The only reason it's not a 10 is actually because I would, if I could in an ideal life, tune the sub bass up a few notches and give me some extra subwoofer slam when I'm in the bass head mood. But this set is incredible in every respect, 9.5 out of 10. Wideness, 9.5 out of 10. And let's see here, just to let folks know, can I get this into, let's see, I guess I can't. Oxygen is going to be an 8 in 3D. Wideness. Oxygen is going to be a 9 in wideness, and the Olina is a 9.5. I could no. Let's be that. I'm honest with that. Let's go for a 9.5. It's up a notch. I'm not going to say why, but in terms of how it's done, but I am going to say that it is done, and it hits me wider, and in every way that matters. It's amazing. It's top of the line level. All right, 3D. We'll give it a 9 out of 10. And if we go down to the Oxygens real quick, 8 out of 10. I do believe the Olinas are more 3D. Also, I could have gone higher with that, but again, I'm trying to temper my incredible hype. So 9 out of 10 in 3D. It's amazing. It's all around you. It's entirely everything that I always talk about in 3 dimensions. Things up, down, left, right, behind you. When you have stereo effects, they literally make your head dizzy. They have that visceral, effect that makes your ears twinge, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's like that, man. Imaging, going to be 9 out of 10. Let's see. Oxygen is going to be an 8 out of 10. I do believe the Olinas pack a little extra treble details in there that really helps to bring out that more pinpoint imaging. It is top of the line level, folks, for $100. Holy sh! Volume scaling, 9.5 out of 10. And, this is one thing I'm picky as hell about. And in fact, yes, the Olinas beat the Oxygens at an 8.5 for the Oxygens. Olinas are at a 9.5. That may go up. I think actually, depending on your source, some sources will give you a little extra treble. Like I said, the driver is very transparent. The tuning is transparent. It will show your source's characteristics very clearly. 9.5 out of 10 volume scaling. It's bad ass. It will, the more you turn it up, the better it sounds, basically. But at a medium level, it sounds really quite good, which really is a wonderful thing for a lot of folks that are scared to break their eardrums. So just having to say that. All right, bass. So this is maybe one of the metrics that if in a perfect world I could have made a little better, but it is in no way bad, as you can tell from a 9 out of 10. I believe, honestly, so why I would rate that over the oxygens, sorry, they are right there, 8.5, in terms of bass, is not so much the extension, but it is actually the wideness. I do get a wider factor with the Olinas, as if it was 2 subwoofers instead of 1. That stereo separation in the bass areas. So we're going to give it a little notch there. It's probably about as high as I'll go with that. Mids, it can't be anything other than a 10. They are the most emotional, incredible mids. They bring a tear to my eye. Just all that. Vocals, instruments, acoustic stuff, just they killed it, and it's as good as it gets. And so signature short bus mids on the Olinas for sure. Treble details, 9.5 out of 10. And in fact, I talked to one person that has them, and we battled this out for a few minutes, but yeah, I think the treble is actually up a notch. Compared to the oxygens, it's just got a little tiny bit more sparkles in the areas that mean something to me. So we're going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, which is like, that means it's basically on the top level of treble I've ever heard in my life, essentially. I'm trying not to hype. It just is what it is. Resolution, we'll give it a 9 out of 10. It is at the top levels of what I've heard, and no more, no less. Pressure buildup, none. They have vents, isolation. Let's see here. We'll give it a 4. Now, I think for some folks it may be less and maybe more, but we'll just go 4 out of 5. Binaural is a 4 out of 5. I mean, I could go higher than that, but I am trying to hold back. It sounds to me really quite perfect. If I had to complain, maybe just a hair extra bass, a hair less treble details, perhaps. It doesn't matter. Binaural stuff rocks my face off. I probably should have given it a 5. And here we end up with the top performing set of all time for the lowest price of all time, and something I would listen to any day of the week. If you stole all of my EJ07s and my Dark Magicians and my RSVs and my EJ07M and the Z1R that I don't own, I would be perfectly content. Let's just say I lost all my money and my house burned down and my family died, my dog died, got shot, whatever. I would be perfectly happy rocking these forever and a day. And it would be endgame. I think maybe for some folks, these might be endgame, especially folks that don't have a ton of money to throw at the hobby. I just want people to know that the $100 price, placebo affects people. And the fact that they're not priced more is going to make people respect them less. And that is a goddamn shame, in my opinion. So anybody that rides the short bus and appreciates my videos, please buy a pair. I don't make any money off this. I'm saying buy a pair because I think that you could buy a lot of other stuff and not get the value for your money. And also, I'd like you to hear this tuning and the mojo that this set has, the X factor that you can't put into words but makes you want to listen to your music and just, you don't want to stop. This has it. Right on. Short bus out.